بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام را تلك آيات الكتاب المبين وقال تعالى نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين صدق الله العظيم. Respected ulama ikram, hufaz ikram, respected elders, brothers and dear viewers and listeners, in tonight's recital we completed the 12th juz of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this particular juz speaks about various different anbiya alayhi wa salatu wassalam. But I would like to discuss in relation to Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam, his interaction with his son. It's quite amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drew the entire picture before us, how Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam, when Allah commanded Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam to build a ship and to gather as many believers as possible, those who accepted the belief and believing in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they came aboard. As many animals as well came on board. As Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam was sailing away, he's seen his son. And Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam told his son that, come on my son, why don't you come on board? So he goes, no father, don't worry. I'm going to take refuge on the zenith of the mountain. That means the top of the mountain. So Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam is telling his son, today there will be absolutely no refuge other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will never get refuge anywhere other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come on board. And as they were sailing away, because it comes, we will discuss it in greater detail in the 19th juz and the 29th juz of the Quran in Surah An-Nur, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down rain, and not just from the heavens, but even from the earth, water gushed forth. In fact, it's been made mention in narrations that the entire world was flooded. And then further on, Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam is telling his son, come on board. And he's saying, no, I'll take refuge on the zenith of the mountain. Seeing his son right on the top of the mountain. And then a wave came and just washed him away. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam said, وَنَادَى نُوحٌ رَبَّهُ فَقَالَ رَبِّ إِنَّ بْنِي مِنْ أَهْلِي. Oh Allah, that's my son, that's my family. Allah responded and reprimanded Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, oh Nuh, that is not your family. He is not a believer. These are your family. That's how we make family with one another. A Muslim brother is our brother. A Muslim sister, the pain of a Muslim sister is our pain. The pain of a Muslim brother is our pain. And that's what me and you need to understand exactly how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam that is he may be your blood relation, but he is not your family. But your family are those who are with you because they believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are your real family. So we need to draw the lesson that these people who are around the world, they are our family, they are our brother, they are our sisters in Islam, they are our brothers in Islam. Their pain is our pain, their agony is our agony, their difficulty is our difficulty. Just like we cannot see the different atrocities, the difficulties, calamities befalling the various different Muslims in different parts of the world, it is very difficult for us to see, and hence We want to do something physically to help them. But we ourselves are helpless here because we cannot go there. The least we can do is raise our hands and make dua for them. That's number one. And secondly, we can do is donate generously and contribute generously for the good causes that are out there today. That's how me and you can help. Because we want to help them physically. We want to help the people of Iraq. We want to help the people of Syria there. The different difficulties that they go through. Every day, not knowing when the next rocket that's going to fall upon them, the next bomb that's going to be falling on them. But we have that pain and that agony that we want to help them physically. Let's help them. But we ourselves are helpless sitting here. The least we can do are the two things: dua and donate generously, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Moving on further, one of the beautiful chapters of the Quran which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. But prior to that, Allah speaks about the various different nations as well. And again, once again, I will make mention that I will speak in greater detail in regarding the various different nations in the 19th juz of the Quran. In this particular surah is absolutely fascinating. It's amazing how this particular surah was revealed, Surah to Yusuf. It was revealed as a whole. But what compelled the entire surah to be revealed, it was the mushrikeen. They wanted to make sure that this Prophet ﷺ is not, he makes up things on his own. He's a liar. He's a fortune teller. He likes telling stories. But then before they can get the answer, they said, how can we, close this man totally from speaking about his new so-called religion? So they went to the Jews to ask for assistance and help. The Jews said, okay, the Jews said many different things, but one of the things they told the mushrikeen, that why don't you go and ask him to tell you the tale and the story of Ishaq alayhi salatu wassalam. Sorry, Yaqub alayhi salatu wassalam and his sons. Because the Bani Israel, they are the Israelites, the Jews, they know the story. But why don't you go and ask him whether he knows the story of Yaqub and his children? And when they confronted Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam regarding the incident of Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, the tale and the story of Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam and his sons, that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the entire chapter surah to Yusuf, to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. One of the best stories. Sahaba, they would enjoy listening from the previous Anbiya alayhi wassalatu wassalam as well. And they would want to hear regarding the various different Anbiya alayhi wassalatu wassalam. And they would also come and ask the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam regarding the previous prophets. And here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the entire chapter was revealed before him, and then he would speak and he would tell, and they would enjoy listening to the life of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And it's a very captivating, capturing story as well. Before I begin with the story, there's a lesson to be learned. And in relation to this particular story is, the main point is with regards to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam's dream. إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين قال يا أبت إني, oh my father, I am seeing إني رأيت 11 كوكبا, 11 stars bowing before me. 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر, the sun and the moon prostrating before me. Now, in the translations, in the Mufassirun, they have written that the sun represents the mother and the moon represents the father, and the stars represents the brothers. But there's another opinion where it says where the sun represents the father and the moon represents the mother. Now there's a lesson to be learned here regarding sociology. It's absolutely fascinating, amazing. Let's take for instance the sun. The sun which represents the father. The sun, when you look at the sun, what do you feel? You feel warmth, you feel protection, you feel amazing, you feel good, you feel happiness. And when the sun comes out, we feel that, okay, the day is going to be absolutely great. Now the sun represents the father. When the father comes home, what happens? The children, they run around the father, they jump on him, they feel happy, they feel protected, they feel secured. They feel absolutely amazing around the father. And during the daytime, we work, don't we? During the daytime, we work. So the father works as well. So he toils, he labors hard, and then he comes home to see his family. It's absolutely amazing. Now let's look at the moon. The moon represents the mother. The moon is very serene to look at. It's amazing, it's capturing. The mother naturally has that captivating look towards the children. So they have the attraction towards the mother. The mother is also serene to look at. It's peaceful. You come home, you look at your wife, you have a big smile on the face, unless you're going through something else, which I don't want to go into. Anyway, nevertheless, continuing the incident. So it's serene to look at, it's amazing. But when the sun is out, where are the stars? Are there to be seen? They are there, but you cannot see the stars. Because the father is toiling, he's laboring hard, making sure he comes home, there's bread on the table. When the moon is out, what happens to the stars? They're twinkling. So generally, the children are very attached towards the mother. And they are absolutely amazing. They like cuddling with the mother. You see, look at the stars outside, you'll see that they're bright and they're shining at night. But when the sun is out, it's absolutely gone. You will not see the stars, although the stars are there. Now let's take for an example, if the sun wants to become the moon, and the moon wants to become the sun, what happens? Come on, brothers. An eclipse. We get the solar eclipse, and we get the lunar eclipse. Now, if the mother wants to become the father and the father wants to become the mother, what happens? Qiyamah. There's going to be problems at home. When the mother wants to become the father and the father wants to become the mother, you will find that there'll be destruction. But when an eclipse happens, what happens to the stars? Are they to be seen? The stars are not to be seen. So when the mother wants to play the role of the father and the father wants to play the role of the mother, who suffers the most? The children. That's a lesson of sociology. So the children, they suffer the most. And that's the lesson that we learn, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, contemplate, ponder upon the Quran, you will realize the Quran is not just a mere book to read. You need to learn to reflect and contemplate upon the Quran. Going on further regarding Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, after mentioning his dream to his father told him, okay, no problem, but don't inform your brothers. They had this natural jealousy and hatred towards Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. The simple reason is Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam's love to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was absolute. It was more towards Yusuf than the other sons. The simple reason, he was young and he loved him a lot. With his brother Binyamin, which is in English Benjamin. So the brothers, when they found out, and obviously through various different incidents, they found out regarding Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam's dream, and then they decided to plot and plan against Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So again, trying to plan how we can get rid of this particular brother of ours. The simple reason is, we want to drift our father's love away from Yusuf towards us. We want to see that love towards us. They were big, they were strong, they were healthy. Yusuf was young, tender age. Mufassirun have written approximately under the age of 15 he was. There's no accuracy regarding that, but Mufassirun have written. Going on further, then they asked their father that, oh my father, allow Yusuf to join us when we go to graze the sheep and all and so forth, and we will take Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So out of the fear, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam said, you know what, you guys are going to play around, you guys are going to do your own thing, and then suddenly a wolf will come and will eat Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam up, will devour Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So they responded by saying that, oh father, we are strong, we are mighty. How can that happen? We'll never allow it. Anyway, due to the fears, the father eventually allowing Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam to join the brothers. Now, it's written in the tafsir that as the Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam stood outside the house and seeing Yusuf off and coming and seeing as they're going far away, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam is standing there checking on Yusuf to see he's okay, he's fine. Binyamin was with Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, Yusuf was with the brothers. And as they went far away, as the father could not see them anymore, that's when they started troubling Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. One of the brothers had Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam on his shoulders and threw Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam on the floor. And then they decided that, we need to get rid of him. So they put Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam in a deserted well. A well which was not known to general people, but was known to travelers. So a well which never had a wall, it's written in the tafsir, it didn't have a wall around it, but just covering. So they threw Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam inside the well, and then they returned home. Now when they returned home, وَجَاءُوا أَبَاهُمْ عِشَاءٍ يَبْكُونَ, they started crying and lamenting, and they started, how the fake tears, as they say, the crocodile tears. They came and they complained to their father due to the fears of, you were saying that a wolf came, a wolf would come and devour Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. That is exactly what happened. That is exactly what had happened. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam was not convinced. Now the brothers at that moment in time, when you do something, when you want to lie, you actually hesitate. So there was a lot of hesitation, not just in their speech, but even in their in their doing of things. So when they actually got rid of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, one of them grabbed his shirt and took his shirt and they slaughtered a sheep and dipped the shirt into the blood of the sheep. And that's when Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam wanted to see any sign that did my son really get devoured by a wolf. So وَجَاءُوا عَلَىٰ قَمِيصِهِ بِدَمٍ كَذِبٍ قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل. So when they brought the shirt of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam before the father out of astonishment said, wow, what a wolf, did not tear the shirt of my son at all. And then he said, فصبر جميل, I will bear patience. And I will have patience and perseverance. And Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, like that, had a lot of patience and perseverance, being the Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. Anyway, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam in the well, and then there are some travelers who picked him up and then took him away, as now he's a slave, because they found something. فَأَدَلَا تَلْوَى قَالَ يَا بُشْرَى هَذَا غُلَامٌ, that, we found a young boy, and Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was absolutely beautiful. So they knew that this little kid will fetch a lot of money. And to know the beauty, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went for Isra and Mi'raj, he seen Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And he had absolute, Allah blessed Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam with the half of the world's beauty. And the other half has been distributed amongst the people. So imagine half of the beauty was given to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. But the beauty of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam knew no bounds. The beauty of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is absolutely fascinating. The beauty of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is very much different to the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. It's so concealing that the Sahaba says at times, if you ask me to describe the beauty of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, it is unreal. I will not be able to describe it. That's the beauty of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu anha was asked regarding Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, look at the 14th full moon. My Muhammad is even shinier than the 14th full moon. So moving on further, looking at the time as well, his time concept, this story is absolutely amazing. After then he was taken to Egypt, Misr, and he was sold. He was sold to the finance minister. He brought him home, and then he became a slave, so working for the finance minister. Then it was the finance minister's wife who tried to seduce Yusuf. Again, she was also captured by the awe and the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And that's the reason why she started chasing Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And as Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was about to open the door, and the door just flung open, and the finance minister was standing right there. And Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, from the back, it was torn because she tried to grab Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Now Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam is trying to explain his innocence, that it is your wife who is trying to run after me, trying to seduce me, and here I am standing right before you trying to escape her. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala واستبق الباب وقدت قميصه من دبر وألف يا سيدها لدى الباب قالت ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك سوءا إلا أن يسجن أو عذاب أليم إن كان قميصه قد من قبل. If it was torn from the front, then Yusuf is a liar and she is speaking the truth. وإن كان قميصه قد من دبر. If it is torn from the back, then Yusuf is the truthful and she is speaking the lies. But eventually Yusuf فَلَمَّا رَأَى قَمِيصَهُ قُدَّ مِنْ دُبُرٍ قَالَ إِنَّهُ مِنْ كَيْدِكُنْ إِنَّ كَيْدَكُنَّ عَظِيمٌ. It was Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was speaking the truth. So how did they identify this particular incident, that if it was a child who spoke in its cradle, and this child spoke that إِنْ كَانَ قَمِيصُهُ قُدَّ مِنْ قُبُلٍ, if it is torn from the front, then Yusuf is a liar and this woman is speaking the truth. And if it is torn from the back, then Yusuf is speaking the truth and the woman is a liar. So the child spoke. Three children spoke in their infancy. Isa ibn Maryam, Jurayj, and there's another child when the mother was suckling the child. It's in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The three children spoke. Inshallah, I will continue, inshallah, from tomorrow in relation to this particular incident of the three children. And I will continue from the incident of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, because it's very much captivating as to what had happened, went into prison, and then the dream, and what happened whilst he was in the prison, the dream of the king, and so forth. Inshallah, I will continue because we haven't finished the chapter of Surah to Yusuf. Inshallah, we're still continuing, because on the 13th juz we've still got a quarter to go regarding the incident of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Wa akhir da'wan alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi.